Good morning, it's day 64 out of my 100-day fitness challenge and the end of week 9, and it was a week of wins. This morning I weighed in at 74.7 kilos, which means I've hit my goal weight for this challenge. My goal weight was 75 kilos and I'm 300 grams under now. I lost 900 grams over the week, which means that holiday weight that I was a little bit worried about just come right off. And yeah, I'm under 75 kilos. I've still got 30 odd days, 26 days left. I'm not going to drop off now. I'm going to continue with the diet and continue with the exercise, because this wasn't about a 100-day challenge. It was about making positive changes, moving forward, and having it a part of my lifestyle. Just becoming who I am as a fit dad, and realizing that you can get it to work in between the lack of sleep and all the other struggles with time management when it comes to being a dad. It can be done. And to be honest, I'm pretty happy with the results, both physically and mentally. Just knowing that with a bit of commitment I was able to achieve it. I'm going to keep it going, like I said, and I'm not going to go out and eat a pizza today just because I've hit my goal weight, because I still need to finish this challenge. I've got 26 days till I'm 40. And then when I'm 40, I'll reward myself. But yeah, I caught up with a mate on Friday night, and that was the only day for the week where I went over my kilojoules. And it wasn't by much, but it was because I decided to have a beer with him. I see him maybe once a year, if that. Known him, how long have I known him? 15 years, longer. He's a good mate, and I was going to have a beer with him. There was no question about it. Even though on Friday when I did my morning vlog, I said, no, I probably won't. As soon as I saw him, as soon as we got to the pub, beer? Yeah, why not? Balance. I'm not going to go drink 10 beers today. Do you know what I mean? So it was, great catching up with him. Saturday, I got a workout in, and it was just back to the grind. I did, out of my workouts last week, I set myself the goal to do at least 20 minutes of movement every day, and I set it low so that I could make it achievable. Well, I smashed that. I did, what did I do? I did an ab workout, I did push day, I did a pull day, and I did 2 5-kilometer runs, and both times of those 5Ks I hit PBs. I mean, proper runners wouldn't call them PBs, but they were PBs to me, and I'm looking to improve on my running moving forward for the rest of this challenge. I'm trying to get that 5-kilometer time under 30 minutes. It's about 33 minutes at the moment. And then I went for 2 20-minute walks, 25-minute walks on my lunch breaks on the days that I couldn't work out, just to keep the streak going like I wanted to. And diet, 6 out of the 7 days, pretty chuffed with that. Only thing that's taken a big hit is my sleep. So the average was, that window's popped up so I can't see it. Average was 5 hours, 3 minutes. And to be honest, I'm not feeling too bad. I'm getting used to burning the candle at both ends, so to speak. I have cliched sayings. Maybe eventually I'll start coming up with sayings that I've written myself. But why? When there's already existing ones that sum it up perfectly. All about efficiency, see? And we went on a date night, Bianca and I, or date day. So if you've been following along, we made it a point to schedule in regular date days, because you kind of lose yourselves and the relationship to the kids, and it shouldn't be that way. It's hard enough keeping a relationship going without kids, with all the back and forth and agreeing and disagreeing and butting heads and different points of view. And it's what makes life interesting, but it's also, it takes a lot of work. they say it's a choice to stay in a relationship. It is. And as long as we have our date days scheduled, it reminds us why we're together and why we have two kids together. And I think it's a great idea by Bianca to introduce these regular date days. We did a sip and paint class, and going into it. So what it is, it's you bring a bottle of wine or champagne or whatever you want to drink, and you go to an art studio, and there's a group of people, and you paint for 2 hours. And when Rocky drew that date night activity out of the hat, so to speak, and it said sip and paint, I'm like, oh, great. I don't know how to paint, and we're not sipping. We're not drinking wine unless we are celebrating something. So we forego the wine, and we brought Coke Zeros. Coke Zeros and a couple of sushis each to enjoy while painting. And I went into it a bit skeptical. I don't paint. I have no idea how to paint. Zero clue. And it was a glow-in-the-dark paint class, which made it a little bit more interesting. They turned up the music. It was almost like a bloody club with glow sticks or rave. And we rocked up, and there's all these professional-looking neon paintings. And I thought, well, we both thought, honestly, because Bianca hasn't painted either, and we both thought you'd get a stencil to trace across. Nah, it's a blank canvas. All those paintings were just your reference things. They stick it up on a wall, and you have to try and copy it. You have 4 brushes, all with different types. Oh, what am I doing? But just like with anything, as we did it more, first you start with the background, and then you do the foreground, and you just keep going. You keep going. The end product was actually not too bad for 2 people that have never painted. So, you just start small. We started with the background and blending it. You just start and don't stop. We didn't stop till the 2 hours was over. And by the end of it, we had paintings that looked not too bad at all. I was definitely happy with how it turned out. So another successful date day idea by Bianca. So the way we've done it is Rocky's drawing them out of a hat, and we folded up bits of paper and we wrote our date day ideas down. Now her bits of paper are folded a bit bigger, and my 5 ideas are a bit smaller. And my ring light's just run out. But yeah, mine are a bit smaller. And which one's Rocky gonna pull out? So 3 in a row, he's pulled out his mum's bigger bits of paper. Eventually I'll get one of my date day ideas. But until then, we'll just have to keep going with Bianca's, which have been a hit so far. Yeah, definitely needed for date days. Yeah, heading into week 10 is just really, I feel like it's been a bunch of wins, and I'm quite happy about that. Besides the sleep, obviously, sacrificing sleep to get shit done, to be honest. I've mentioned we're starting to get the side hustle up and running again. Been working on that late nights once the kids have gone back to sleep. Not back to sleep, once the kids have been put down to sleep, had dinner. Haven't watched TV since we've got back from holidays. That's one thing. We've replaced any form of TV with the side hustle, because what's gonna give me a better output? Binge watching YouTube, where you're learning things but you're not applying it. And that was a big problem I used to have, binge watching tutorials. So I'd watch them and then I wouldn't apply it. So now I just quickly get on my phone. I'm not going to sit in front of my TV and watch tutorials while I eat, because I'm just not going to apply them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly research it and then just get the action done. That's what I've found has worked most so far. But yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. I was talking about the business. So they haven't watched TV, focused on the business, and Bianca's getting really good at this whole Instagram Reels thing. So she's doing it more, which means she is improving every time she does it. and now she's, some organic stuff is getting a lot of views, well, a lot for us anyway, because we were averaging around 400 views per reel, and now she's got a few up to 2,500, and it's just, the more she does it, the better she gets at it, as with anything in life. So keep going, and we'll see how this business goes heading into summer, because it's a swimwear business. And late last night, finished a wholesale brochure for it to try and attract stockists, and there's one in particular we wanted to email off, and that's the reason why I finished off the brochure last night. And I sent it off, I think about 12:30. Got a reply instantly. So this other business owner is also burning the candle at both ends, working at 12:30 at night. Shot an email back saying, yes, we're interested in stocking your product. A few more questions, and hopefully this will be our very first retail store stockist. It's like a boutique store. Fingers crossed that happens. Bianca will reply to her with the answers, and I'll keep you updated. I think I'm definitely going to lean into a 100-day challenge for the business next, for my next series, after this health and fitness focus series is finished. So I'll turn 40 and then focus on the business. Anyway, quite happy with this week's results, and going into week 10, all positive. Check in again tomorrow.